Textiles, I'm going to show you how to create different colours on fabric. So you'll all have a piece of this fabric using plexi glue, which comes in the little tubes like this, which I'll leave out for you, and creating this sort of flat design using bonder web. So I'll show you the bonder web bit first. So obviously with rough side down, you're going to just iron that into place, like so, leaving it for a few minutes just to cool down, and then peel that away, leaving the gluey side there. And then quite simply just using one of these foils, and it has to be colour side upwards, you just place that over the bonder web and just a few sort of dabs just to transfer that on, and it should just peel away like so. Okay, the next way, flexi glue is you just squeeze it out. It can be a little bit temperamental, but you just gently squeeze the tube and you just create your design. You can do curves, dots, swirls, whatever, okay? We're just sort of experimenting. And then you'll need to leave that for about 24 hours, probably until your next lesson. But when it's dry, like this one here, it dries clear, and using one of these foils again, coloured side up as well, and you'll know, if you do it, try it that way, it won't come out, so you'll notice. And then choose your sort of colours, and then press it on with your nail or the back of a ruler, and then peel that away, and that should transfer the design onto there. Okay, so that's two different methods, creating a surface, a more flat metallic-y surface using the bonder web and using the plexi glue. Right, I'm going to demonstrate how to use the expander print. In fact, this is not the sort of best way that you can use it. This hasn't come out quite as good as it could be. You can use it for things like if you want to create foam on the sea, or if you want to create snow or snow prints and things like that. An expander print, it's over in the drawers, and it comes in these little pots. And the reason generally why it's in the smaller pots is because it dries up quite quickly. So you're just going to use it, just in little dabs, and you can mix it with paint. I've had to go at mixing it with paint or painting over the top of it, so either works well. And then need to be on the glass and probably ventilate the room, open one of the windows. You need to use the heat gun. Hold it in place. And you can see it'll start to bubble up. You can see now I was starting to bubble up, and now that would make a really nice effect for snow or sea foam or clouds. Okay, so that's expander print. All right. The next thing I'm going to demonstrate for you is Tyvek. And the Tyvek, it comes in this sort of bubbly, pebbly sort of effect when it gets heated up. This one has got crayon all over it. You can put crayon on it. Paints really tend to sort of oil up, okay? And what you need is now the iron. You need a piece of Tyvek, and this is just like a postage envelope. It's also used on houses, and it's also used in the white boiler suits, but that tends to be this more thinner version. And I'll take the glass off. And you just need to put some paper over the top to stop it from melting. And you're going to hover the iron just a few millimetres above it, just to give it space to bubble. And then what you'll find is, depending on which way that you've got this, whether it's facing it one way or the other, will depend which way your bubbles. And you can see now underneath is starting to melt. So it either bubbles up towards the iron or down towards the ironing board. So you can see now that's bubbling. And it creates that effect like a sort of pebble. And that's really nice. You can stitch into it. You can layer organzas over the top as well, and they sort of get caught in between the bubbles. So it's just experimenting with those. So that is using expander print on a fabric, and there's these for each of you. And using... Okay, we're going to look now at melting crisp packets, which is quite simple and effective as well. Sometimes we have exam questions that are to do with recycling, so this is quite a nice way of using these. They've both been melted. This one's been woven, and then this one's just been left, and you can see it bubbles up very much like the Tyvek. So just take a regular packet of crisps and just wipe the inside, because it'll be full of grease and muck. And then I'm just going to do, with this one, I'm just going to do the basic, showing you how it melts. I'm just going to use one little bit of it. Again, cover and hover again. So you're not ironing, you're just hovering, and you can see it's starting to gather up underneath. Just a little bit more. And you can see it's created again that really nice bubbly effect. So think of when you might need to use that sort of texture. And then the weaving, you just cut, you leave a little section at the top and you cut up into it, and then you just weave these pieces in and out. You may have done this in year 10 or 11. Okay, I'm just going to do that many just for demonstration. And then again, hovering a couple of millimetres above the surface. And it should secure that weave together. Keep this on a little bit more and make sure it's nice and combined. Okay, so you can see now, the more you leave it on, the more of a lacy effect, but you can see that's the effect of the weaving crisp packet. So we've got just melting it into that bubbly effect and then weaving it together. Again, you can stitch into this, stitch through this, add beading, add different things.